Kicks 105.5 Midland Drinking Problem. Joining me now is Mike Baird of Baird Insurance with Good Policies. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Not bad. A little tired. I got to get another cup of Joe in me, but that's fine. Listen, every morning I get a call. I get a very unique call.
You do?
From a very unique individual, and it's from a farmer. And he says, every morning I get up to your show, and there's always your weather is always off.
Uh-oh.
And that's fine. That's okay. It happens sometimes. But over this time, this anger, I've started to get to know him. And I've learned that he's a farmer. He comes from a farming family, 3 generations of farmer.
Oh, wow.
He's like 98 trillion years old.
I'm sure he's listening now. He's loving your recount of the story here.
And over time, we have I have slowly. It's been a very long process, let me tell you, but I've slowly starting to like me, and I've learned that he has a farm, and it's a tiny farm in Waterford. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, wasn't ready for that.
And I was looking at your website, and I realized we don't talk a lot about farm insurance. And I realized there's a lot of farmers out there who listen to the program and maybe don't know of the kind of advantages of certain farm insurance has. And because I'm absolutely clueless towards any and all things, I thought this now would be a good time.
Yeah.
To just chit chat with you and see what kind of happenings is going on with farm insurance.
Yeah,
and so I was thinking, what could I was outside, you saw me pacing, and it's always good, when I'm pacing, that always means I'm thinking about something.
Oh God.
And I was thinking,
it's like the smoke I saw.
that was coming out of my ears, man. I was trying to figure out stuff fast, and I saw your car, and I was like, oh boy, so I'm thinking, you can insure livestock, maybe?
Yes.
You can insure heavy machinery.
Mm-hmm.
You can insure crops. Yes, maybe.
Crops would be a different animal of sorts.
See, I'm glad I asked this question.
Yeah.
Lay it on me.
With what we have to offer, we write farms and what we call mini farms, which are for gentleman farmers or homestead farmers that, and I think I've said this once before when we did kind of a full overview, but a farm policy is for the fully operating, this is my livelihood farm. Which is going to be bigger. And then the mini farm is for, for any number of reasons, I don't qualify for a homeowner. Maybe I have too many animals. Maybe I have some outbuildings, some larger barn buildings that I want more appropriately covered, better than a homeowner could provide. So that's why a mini farm. And another big thing is it can't be their bread and butter. It's got to be they have to have sustainability outside of the farming. So there's the key difference between the two. So now let's go into the quick nuts and bolts of the insides. All right. So mini farm policy and the farm policy are going to work the same way in this capacity. They're going to offer the ability for you to insure your home. If you have other properties or other houses or dwellings on your property, maybe you have some farmhands who live in them, you can insure those buildings within the farm program as well. So you can insure multiple dwellings where people reside.
You got some farmhouses.
Yeah.
You can insure them.
You can. Yeah.
Fantastic.
There are some limitations on, companies really don't want to necessarily insure homes that you own that are off premise or rented. That's not preferred. I'm sure there's still some that we have on the books because back in the day they probably were a little broader in terms of acceptability, but not so much now. And then another big thing is, of course, the barn buildings. So you can insure your barn where you've got the milking operation if you're a dairy farm. You can insure the horse stable if you have horses, or the open loafing shed if you have any other type of animal, especially calves or what have you. If you're milking, or if you're raising beef, or if you're raising chickens, or if you have, we're seeing a lot of the tourism type farm options now. That's available too, agritourism. So those types of things can all be addressed. Then you also can cover your equipment. So you're right, your John Deere tractor, your Massey Ferguson, your New Holland, what have you, those types of things. Yeah, you can certainly cover those. If you have brush cutters, if you've got disc mowers, if you have
milking equipment.
Milking equipment, yes, absolutely. We even cover maple syrup producers. So if you have a sugar shack, and then of course we all know that your maple sugar house is going to be probably a pretty simple structure, but the innards of it, which would be the evaporator, and if you have reverse osmosis or anything like that, you're talking 10, 15, 20,000 or more worth of equipment.
Is that a
in
Vermont thing? You just talked about maple syrup, and I just got like that sweet taste on my tongue.
So it goes on and on and on. There's all kinds of options there. There's enhanced coverages like equipment breakdown coverage that you could add onto your policy. So you can also add spoilage coverage. So if you have the big 1,000-gallon bulk tank and something happens and now you've shipped it off to any of the distributors and now you've spoiled the whole batch, I mean, there's all kinds of exposures out there for farmers.
Okay.
So you can add that type of coverage as well. Let's say your primary purpose is a dairy farm, but now you've got, you've decided to diversify a little bit, or maybe it's just what you've always loved to do. So you've got some vegetables that you grow in the summertime, or you grow corn. Well, then you can specifically add on an endorsement to provide liability coverage for you to have a farm stand, or for you to be selling some produce or what have you, and the list goes on and on. It's really almost
seems to me
infinite.
like there's a lot of safety nets here for farmers.
There is, and then the biggest thing we haven't got to, because you brought it up, it's really a key point, is crop insurance.
Yes.
If your cows are out in the field during a lightning storm and get struck by lightning, they're going to be covered. If your cows get mired or strangled or attacked by wild animals, they're going to be covered. But what about your crop? What about your hay? What about your hemp that's now being grown in a lot of areas?
That's right. 21st century, man.
Yeah. What about the corn? Crop insurance is actually offered through the federal government. So it's kind of offered much in the way that the National Flood Insurance Program offers flood. There's companies that work through the federal government to offer crop insurance, and that's a different animal altogether. I don't currently offer crop insurance.
Okay.
But there are people who
Good
do.
to know,
Yeah. So, and it's very specific triggers of coverage for crop insurance. I mean, I could get into the nitty gritty of that and really put you to sleep, but you need your coffee. So, but yeah, farm insurance.
Listen,
we've only scraped the surface.
I could listen to you read a phone book. All right, I got to tell you. All right, Mike Barrett of Barrett Insurance with good policies. Tell them where they could find you.
Sure. So we are on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. You can give us a call, 748-5224. Visit our website, like Mike did, thebarrettagency.com.
Yeah.
Google, Facebook, and YouTube is all Barrett Insurance Agency.
I think that was the first time, admittedly, I went to your website, because I had gone to, I had just gone to like Google and said, what are insurance? And tried to figure out insurance questions from there. Mike Barrett, Barrett Insurance.
Did my page pop up?
Oh, it did. It did. It was insurance.
Right.
It was like the definition from, of course, like Google has, the ads, so it has to make money. It was some scam, sites or whatever. And, the local sites, it says insurance in your area.
Yeah,
right
and
there,
that shows
buddy.
the list of all of us local yokels. Yes.
You local yokels.
I love it.
All right. Hey, listen, Dustin Lynch coming up here on Kicks 105.5. Thanks so much for spending time with us, Mike.
Thank you. Have